All right, we're going to start with the nation. Governors take stern steps to battle worsening insecurity. Picture here of President Tinubu Oshoba. President? Which president? Okay, Senate President. Tinubu Oshoba, others eulogized by Jamemina at book launch. Dangote shops for additional 300 billion naira to finance refinery. UTM Offshore, Afrexim Bank signed project preparation facility financing deal. NAFDAC collects 2 toxic lotion. ASUU strike Buhari to decide on UTES for varsity teachers. CGN proposes 29 justices for Supreme Court. And 10,000 Osun PDP members defect to APC. Okay.
So the ASUU strike situation, it seemed like there's light at the end of the tunnel. The Minister for Labour, Dr. Chris Ngigi mentioned this, hinted at it, that there's likely going to be a resolution and that people should never assume that he is not concerned about the fact that students have been at home for 4 months now, but that the meetings have taken place with everybody. The last meeting that people assumed was going to take place between the management of ASUU as well as Labour wasn't the meeting. That the meeting was meant to take place between the stakeholders, the federal government, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning Office, National Salaries, Income, Wages Commission, the Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, National Information Technology Development Agency, and all these people are meeting to decide whether we would go with UTAS or we're going to go with IPPIS. And this crucial meeting, there will be like a resolution that will be presented to the president, who will now make the final decision. Then they will now bring ASUU back to the table for us to iron out everything. But the insinuation is that there will be a solution coming soon to ASUU strike.
So NAFDAC,
go on, Mayor.
NAFDAC is imploring importers, distributors, retailers, healthcare providers, and consumers to immediately stop the importation, distribution, sale, and use of placentine hair lotion. It comes in 12 ampoules by 10 ml and is made by Linea Italiana di Benazzi Anna and SAS. So this lotion has been investigated and it's found to use a preservative called MCI and MI. They say they are common preservatives, but the thing is they've been linked to lung toxicity, allergic reaction, and possible neurotoxicity. So the European counterpart of NAFDAC had, was the one that first noticed this and sent the alert immediately. So for all of us, distributors, users, please be mindful and just stop the use completely.
Okay, Nima?
So the Chief Justice, as you know, submitted lists for of 29 vacancies, supposedly provisional vacancies that the Supreme Court. 6 present and future vacancies of the Supreme Court. And in the list, none of the lawyers that, heeded his call to his invitation to apply was seen on that list as obtained by Nation. So the list only already confirmed justices from the Court of Appeal are those that made up the list, and they represent all the geopolitical zones in the nation. The MB, of course, is against this. They are upset at it, and they are objecting to it already.
All right, so the major headline, 4 governors are doing everything, taking measures to protect their citizens. So I'll start with Governor Bello Matawale of Zamfara State. He has said that he has asked the Commission of Police to grant licenses to people who are authorized to actually get arms. According to him, that's the only way they can protect themselves from the banditry and the terrorists amongst them. He has also mandated the security agents to shoot on sight the motorcyclists, because that's been banned in their state. Said that shoot motorcyclists on sight to remind them that the ban on commercial use for motorcycles in the state is still in effect. The governor in Ondo State has also ordered that they have to put CCTV across churches, mosques, public places, schools, House of Assembly, just ensure to tighten security within the state, because of what happened in Owo recently. Also, in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde has ordered for 5 additional operatives of the Amotekun to join the force. So, and also the governor of Imo State has also issued ultimatum to bandits. So these governors are saying, listen, we have to take our law, not laws into our hands, but we have to take security more seriously. They can't continue to wait for the federal government to send...
More like law into
They can't continue to wait for federal government to send security to them because they have to find a way to secure themselves. But we'll discuss Governor Matawale's pronouncement later.
I remember this government coming into the administration with the promise of state policing, that they would deliver state policing. And
I think it was more of restructuring, which was part of state policing.
State policing. They mentioned state policing in the campaign.
Okay, moving on to the Punch. Running mate Northwest. Northeast fight over slots. I'm still searching, says Tinubu. A direct carnival resumes in Austria after COVID-19 restrictions.
That was cool.
Lagos couple faint as 3 children drown in pool. Building collapse. Lagos demolishes over 100 structures in 8 months. Gunmen kill Edo Kaduna Catholic priest over others. Aregbesola Oyetola camps say no to reconciliation yet. Self-defense. Firearm ban still in force. CP wants Matawale. Immigration dismisses organ donor underage claim. Ebonyi Dixon back Ekwerimadu. And fuel shortage, inflation will weaken Nigeria's economic growth, says World Bank. Okay, which story are we starting with? I'd like to start with the human interest story here, which is pretty sad. It happened on June 12th. A couple went to an event, and they were alerted that 3 of all their children had drowned in the pool within their estate in Ajah. They're all 3 girls, 14, 7, and 3 years old. So they had gone out to a party or maybe to an event, and they came back, and I think it was the police, the security within that estate saw the children, immediately rushed them to the hospital. Of course, they were confirmed dead on arrival. The police were alerted, and that's how the parents were called in, and they found that all 3 children had drowned in the... Now, there's so many questions. Is there a CCTV for us to know what happened? Because remember the story of a young man, a little child whose child almost drowned. But was it?
No, the school excursion.
The school excursion, thank you. Yeah. But the father immediately went straight to get to the CCTV to know exactly what happened. Yeah. So we don't know how that story, but both parents fainted the moment they told them, like 2 of them fainted.
Of course.
They had to take them to the hospital to revive them. All 3 children, I mean, this is the most heartbreaking
within
story.
Your estate. So
within your estate.
Took the children out.
So they probably assume that the 14-year-old will take care of the others, but it's possible that I'm just thinking, I'm speculating. Maybe the little one went out and fell in the pool. They tried to go and save the child. I don't know, maybe all
trying to save themselves and everybody.
It's really sad. 14 years. Really sad. Our hearts go out to the family and the entire community. Like, God just give you fortune to bear this loss. May we never see this kind of thing. It's a really, really sad story.
Another sad news. Gunmen have killed the priest in charge of St. Michael's Catholic Church, Ikabibo, in the Esako West local government area of Edo State. That's my local government. The Reverend Father was attacked and shot on his way within the farm from his residence. And, a young boy who also went in search of him was also killed, or shot at, and is presently in a very bad state. The Reverend Father also has, his death has been announced by the church and the needful done. Also, another attack happened in Kaduna State where another Catholic priest, Reverend Father Vitus Orogo, was shot by suspected terrorists also. And these are continuous sad news. I also got a call from the village over the weekend about, a relative kidnapped and killed along Benin Auchi Road. These are constant sad news coming from home.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Adire? Which one?
No, I don't have Adire. I have the Lagos State Building Control Agency. I said that within the past 8 months, they have pulled down nothing less than 100 buildings or 100 structures. And that this is really in response to the continuous news of collapse of buildings in, Lagos State. They named a few of the places that they have been and the number of structures that have been deemed inhabitable or capable of posing danger to lives and properties that they've pulled down. But there's this particular school that was mentioned here. It's called Milton Montessori School, located in Jide Street off Odunsi Street in Bariga. I'm calling the full address because they said that they had sent them a notice. This is a school that houses children and teachers, and they had sent them a notice because of the really bad state of that building. They said this building could, collapse and cause the death of the lives of these pupils and the teachers. But they continue to have classes and have the students and teachers there. So, of course, last BCA, I don't know how you put it together, LAS BCA, went there, of course, and decided to pull it down. But, everyone is saying that there's nothing wrong in what, Lagos State is doing in this case, because we need to protect. We don't have to wait until these lives are lost before we take action.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. So there was a story of that Adire in Austria.
That's such a heavy story. The Adire story is the good news. The Adire International Carnival returned on Saturday to Vienna, Austria. They do this every year, but for the past 3 years, due to COVID-19 pandemic, they haven't been able to do the event. The event participants dressed in a black and yellow, really beautiful Adire material, and they gathered beside the Nigerian embassy, waving the Nigerian flag and the Austria flag, and
Nice.
they were both white, and every race represented. They also mentioned that Nigerians came in from countries like Salzburg, Catton, Linz. There were people from the UK, from the US, Brazil, Paraguay, Bangladesh, and Macedonia, and everybody just came to celebrate the Adire. And that's a beautiful
It was
thing
very
to be
Nigerian
doing.
outside Nigeria. It's like amazing. We have this
No,
unity.
to be fair, there was a recent Adire festival too here in Lagos.
What I'm saying that we appreciate it more. Like you wouldn't go there. Like many Nigerians wouldn't leave their house to go
To go for
a
an Nigeria festival,
But
yeah.
if they're abroad, they're likely to go to because it gives them that identity that I'm part of my people. So that's the connection we do. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Northern governor stalls selection of Tinubu's running mate. Cooking gas price put Nigeria's interests first. Obasanjo begs stakeholders.
Abio.
Bandits kill Catholic priest, 2 others in Edo and Kaduna. I think Nima took that story. Oyetola hails defection of 10,000 PDP members to APC. Terrorism. Army jails 30 soldiers, dismisses 4 as 227 face trial. 2023, Obi Kwakanso Alliance under threat. And Ekwere Madu NPC birth certificate of kidney donor shows he's 21, says immigration. Okay, which story are we starting with, Insan?
The army story. So the Major General Christopher Musa, the General and Special Marshal Court, Theater Commander Operation Adinka Major, was talking about setting up the Special Marshal Court to try 29 soldiers. And he was saying that, the court martial has recommended the reduction of rank and loss of seniority for 25 soldiers, 20 for loss of pay, 17 for severe reprimand, and 4 for dismissal from service. This special court was set up to, probe professional misconduct in the ongoing fight against insurgency in Nigeria. And about 227 other officers were presented before the court martial for various other offenses presently happening. And also in Bayelsa, there's serious clampdown on oil thieves in the region because of, the southern Ajah local government area where this oil bunkering is very, very popular. They call that area Igbo-Moturu. It's the base of a deadly illegal bunkering merchant, and there's serious major clampdown there. But there's panic among the community members. They think that, the military presence is for some other reasons, but military is putting it out there now that it's for this purpose of, oil bunkering happening there, and their business is, of course, to protect the interest of the country and stem that.
All right. So weeks after Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu picked up the being the flag bearer for the APC presidential ticket, he's yet to choose his running mate, and he said that I'm still searching, and there's a lot of pressure from various quarters concerning the possibility of picking a Muslim ticket. And especially now that the president has clearly asked everybody to leave Asiwaju to pick his running mate. He's also considering the fact that many governors from the north came together to support him for the presidential primaries. And therefore, he's trying to ensure that he picks between the southeast and the northeast and the northwest. However, there are a lot of courses that insist that you must pick a non-Muslim just so they can have a Muslim-Christian ticket. But we have an elder statesman, Tanko Yakasai, had warned that it's politically suicidal for Asiwaju to pick a Christian running mate, especially because he has given his word to a few northern governors that he will pick amongst them for this running mate. So this is a huge task ahead, and many are waiting for who is going to pick for his running mate. It's a conversation that many Nigerians are having. Should he do a Muslim? There's a whole court section of Christians saying he must pick a Christian. So, and there's a huge block of votes. So these are really interesting times, but we'll see what he finally decides to pick. Okay, another story in Sun.
Yes, I have got. So the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, was at the recently concluded Second West Africa LPG Expo and Nigeria Liquefied Petroleum Association Summit. It was held in Lagos, and at the summit, he charged stakeholders of this of LPG to, put the interest of the nation when in doing their business. He said to them that the Nigerian market is actually the fastest growing LPG market globally. He said that, yes, he understands that there are challenges, but the stakeholders can come together and actually surmount these challenges. He says that they should do that we need more volume, more people involved in that business. Also in infrastructural development, aid, supply, and to the last mile, and issue of regulations such as VAT. He also mentioned the fact that when he was in government, he was able to put policies in place that made LPG, the subsector, a thriving business than just, relegate it in the way that it was before he came to power. And so we need to build on that and make it even more, we need to have a higher supply to meet the demand and, especially with the rising cost.
All right, moving on now to Vanguard. Zamfara, get guns, defend yourself, says government. Ekweremadu, alleged organ donor, 22 years, not 15, says immigration. Tinubu, Atiku can't fix Nigeria, says Ango Abdullahi. 77 tests positive to HIV in Taraba. National Grid, Serap sues Buhari over missing 11 trillion naira electricity fund. We won't drop Yoruba nation agitation, even if Tinubu becomes president, says Banji Akintoye. That's the elder statement. Why next 5,000 megawatts July 1 target is unrealistic, says Gencos. Strike, our problems with ASUU, that's federal government. UTM offshore Afrexim Bank signed project preparation facility financing deal. And bandits kill Catholic priest in Kaduna farm. Which story are we starting with in Vanguard?
Story.
Right.
So Taraba State has a state agency that controls the spread of AIDS, and they did a test in their weekly report, tested 2,156 persons, and across 16 local governments of the state found that 77 people were positive. They have total number of 36,396 persons currently living with HIV, and of all of them, about 20,200 have been able to are receiving treatment, and it has totally it has suppressed the viral load that they have. The goal of this agency within the state is to ensure that there is zero spread of new infections of HIV. And that is by raising awareness of HIV. So they launched the campaign using media and all forms to increase the awareness of people into presence of HIV, getting tested, getting treated, and hopefully we can reduce the spread of HIV within.
So that is worrying that we're getting new infections.
New cases coming up.
Well, the follow-up to the Ekwerimadu's organ transfer issue. And so the Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Issa Idris, was saying that there's no way that, that boy, David Ukpo Mwamini, was 15 years old, that he applied via the portal of the Nigerian Immigration Service for a passport, and he, in support of that application, he presented his National Population Commission issued birth certificate, the issued one, not an affidavit. And he also presented his NIN number, which also indicated his age, and a letter of introduction by the Ebonyi State Government Liaison Office situated in Maitama, a guarantor's form issued by one Mr. Okechukwu Chukwuma Ogbono, and all those supportive documents, all alluded and to his age, that he's an adult. He was born in 2000. The Sun says he's 22. The Vanguard says he's 21. Punch also has a story on it that says he's 21, and that his age as at now is, what is on the passport, and that.
So we have to wrap up. I think it's clear that they have an argument against the issue of being underage, but the issue now is consent. They have to prove consent, and I hope he has some kind of document the guy signed saying, "Okay, I know I'm going to go and offer my organ," and because that's where it's going to be difficult to prove that he wasn't cajoled or he wasn't to do this. Okay, we have to run. I think we don't have any more time. The points, let's just take one story. How Buhari left Lawan Akpabio in limbo. Pastor rapes newlywed lady in church during deliverance service. Oh, my goodness.
What?
That's another story we've not taken. APC, PDP, others test might in Osun ahead 2023 polls. Okay.
So this really sad story, a couple married in April. The girl was complaining of having chest pain. And then she went to the pastor that she's having chest pain. They called her for deliverance. This happened in Ebonyi State. So she went for the deliverance. It was in the midnight. And rather than a prayer session, it was caressing. And it led to rape. The 51-year-old suspect has already been arraigned at the magistrate's court. And his name is Ani Oyagba. The man of God, he owns the church, and he raped a church member who came to him for prayers and deliverance from chest pain.
Please go to the hospitals. Chest pains, but to rape someone
that's what we can take on front page review. When we come back, we're going to look deeper into Governor Matawale's pronouncement that citizens who are authorized by the Commissioner for Police to carry arms should be allowed to. What are your thoughts on this? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.